So, welcome all of you to the Avyak Murli Club. So, today is Murli, and tomorrow we are reading it in two parts. Excuse me. It's all about how Baba is saying that the powerful stage of yoga is still not shown by Brahmins. And Baba is very much in detail trying to tell us that is it easy for you all to come into sound or go beyond sound? And so, all of us from today's Murli, let's check. What is it that we like? Is it speaking about Gyan knowledge? Is that okay for us? Or trying to situate ourselves in the stage beyond sound? Because the service, the type of service which we'll be doing further is very, very different from what we are doing right now. Which means as further time passes and things go really out of control, the natural calamities outside, or as you are seeing a lot of things happening outside, the Vacha Seva, the serving through words, will definitely cease to exist, and then we would have to serve through our minds with a powerful state of mind. So let me share the screen and show you. It's 18th of June 77. So I'm comfortable with this PDF version, so I hope it's okay for you all as well. The title is How to Create a Powerful Stage of Yoga. Though in English they always say yoga, yoga, but actually in Hindi it is yog. Yog means connection. But always, for some reason, it's translated in English as yoga, but it's basically yog, the connection. So you have come to the land of blessings to celebrate a spiritual meeting, Vardhani Bhumi, which is Madhuban. Can you have a spiritual meeting by being stable in the stage beyond sound? Or does it take place through words? Because even souls, when they come to Madhuban and they are expected to be silent on the day of Avyak Baba Milan, they still come into sound. They're not able to practice this stage of being or stage of going beyond sound. Do you love the stage of going beyond sound or the stage of coming into sound? Let's check. What do we like? The stage of going beyond sound is powerful and becomes instrumental to serve everyone. Or do you experience the stage of serving through words to be more powerful? Does unlimited service take place by going beyond sound or through words? So, what's the answer? Unlimited service. Obviously, it is beyond sound or beyond words. So, can you achieve this final stage of perfection in which you have the stage of being complete with all the powers, a master almighty authority, and master knowledgeful in a practical way? By going beyond sound or by coming into sound? So, see, the Baba is asking series of questions in very different formats again and again. And the gist of all of them is whether we are able to go beyond sound. Is the stage of being a world benefactor for all souls, a great donor, a bestower of blessings, and one who fulfills the desires of all souls? The stage of going beyond sound or the stage of coming into sound? So here Baba says, great donor Mahadani Vardani. Vardani is bestower of blessings, and world benefactor means Vishwa Kalyankari. So are all these very hi-fi, very great elevated stages we able to fulfill also the desires of all the souls? All these stages, Baba is asking, is it possible by coming into sound or by going beyond sound? And obviously the answer is going beyond sound. Have you experienced both these stages and do you know both these stages? Out of the two, in which stage do you spend more time and which stage is experienced easily? So again, we have to ask, what is easy for us? Are you ever ready to the extent that whenever you are given a direction, you can be stable in that particular stage? Or does your time pass by in just trying to become stable in that stage? And if you have noticed that the last 3, 4 Sundays, in Baba's Avyakt on every Sunday, which we are revising. They are, I think, from 95 or 96, and Baba is making us practice the drill in the end. And again, he says that in 1 second, situate yourself in the Ashariri Sthiti, the bodiless stage, or Farishta stage, whatever. Baba is saying, I'm asking you 1 second. Does it take 1 minute? So it's a reminder call for all of us that a power of yoga needs to develop more and more. Or does your time pass by in just trying to become stable in that stage? So the time for becoming perfect is approaching. So are you experiencing this speciality in yourself before that time actually comes? The most elevated method of putting the final full stop is to be stable instantly in the stage you are told to. Instantaneously, like Baba says, even less than a second, fraction of a second or millisecond. And are you making this method your practical experience? Do you practice this? Bab Dada has been teaching you this practice for a very long time now and is still continuing to teach you. But to what extent are you accomplished in this practice? So today's Murli is a bit tikha, which means it's like Baba is trying to remind us what is our stage of yoga. Because we still haven't got this, we are not used to getting it stable instantly. It takes a bit of a time for us to situate in that stage. Will you be able to make yourself ever ready by the end of this year? Baba asked that in June 77, but we have almost a month left or 3 weeks left till Jan 2024 to start. So let's ask ourselves, are we going to become ever ready by the end of this year? Are you ready? Or on seeing the time, have you become even more careless in this practice for yourself? Which means if someone tells you the date, so and so is the date of destruction, you'll become complacent. Oh, yeah, we have 3, 4 years more. If you remember a couple of Murlis ago on Sundays, Baba said, let me give you a date. For example, so and so, I think it was 2000, he said. Now, he said, I'm not, actually, I'm just testing you all. That is not the date. But even if I give you this date, will you become ready in 3, 4 years? Or you'll become complacent? Ah, yes, we have 3, 4 years more. So thinking that you don't know that you don't know when destruction is going to take place, instead of becoming perfect through your efforts, have you become one who loves rest and comfort due to the weaknesses of wasteful thinking and wasteful thoughts? So we become complacent, alas albelapan, laziness, carelessness, because of we love rest and comfort. And then we say, yes, there is still some more time. So this stage, Baba says, is vyarth, wasteful thinking. Further, Baba says, seeing the speed of children's effort nowadays, Bab Dada continues to smile. You give all the souls the message, become Gyani and Yogi, and time and again. But do those who give this message also give themselves this message that you have to become? And actually, sorry, it's Yogi first. Though our subjects are Gyan first, then Yog, knowledge followed by Yog. But do you give yourself this message time and again as you give to others that you have to become Gyani first or Yogi first and also Gyani as well? Most of the souls appear to be weak in the subject of the pilgrimage of remembrance and the stage of being a yogi. Yad ki yatra mein, pilgrimage of remembrance, we are weak. Time and again, you bring the same complaint to Bab Dada and the instrument souls. Why am I not able to have yoga? Why isn't my yoga constant? How can I create a powerful stage of yoga? So these all complaints are there. And Baba says, I don't like complaints. I want you all to become complete, right? You've heard that in the Avyak Murlis all the time. Although you are given, although you are often given many types of methods, Bab Dada keeps on receiving the same notes of all these questions that creating doubt on oneself, that why is this happening with me? Why is my yoga not constant? Blah blah, all those. So Baba says, what can one understand from this? Although you are a child of the One with all the powers, you're such a powerless soul that you're unable to control yourself. And then, so how would you be able to control the kingdom of the world? On one hand, we say we're going to become the deities and the rajas, maharajas, kings, queens. And on the other hand, you're not able to simply put a control on your mind, on your thinking, wasteful thinking. What is the reason for this? You have learned yoga but do not know how to use the methods of remaining yogi yukta. You continually do speak of yoga, but you do not pay attention to experimenting with yoga. So actually, it reminds me of another Murli where Baba spoke about um, three stages. If I could say in Hindi, because there are beautiful words in Hindi, all having the words ending with yoga. So the first thing Baba says is, you don't become a BK like that from day one. Initially, you become a Sahyogi Atma. Sahyog. You give cooperation to each other. You try to attend Murli, do a little bit of effort, try to practice dharana, inculcations of food, etc., so on and so forth. So you become a Sahyogi. Then next stage you become Yogi, whereby then you become more pakka. You're more firm in your dharanas. Your Murli starts becoming regular. Amrit Vela, Yog, Nimasham, all that starts become more regular, and then you're called as a Yogi Atma. Apakka BK has become. But then that's the third stage after this, which Baba is saying, is reminding us that that's not happening. And that's called Prayogi. Prayogi means use me, use all the powers, not just remembering in the mind, oh, I have 8 powers, I know the importance of that. But when I need to, for example, apply the power of tolerance, if some situation has come in front of me, or if someone is speaking or is angry with me or is critical of me, at that time point, can I apply the Sahin Shakti, the power of tolerance? Or I just know it in my mind, but I'm not able to apply. So that's the third stage of Prayogi. So using the Gyan, the knowledge, with the power of yoga and trying to inculcate it in my daily life. That inculcation, dharana subject is Prayogi. We are using it. So that's what Baba is trying to remind. So are you Sayogi? Obviously, no. We are yogi, but Baba says move into Prayogi now. Experiment with the yoga. Then in the third paragraph, Baba reminds us which he's seeing. He's seeing a wave in Brahmin children. And what is that wave? Let's listen to it. At present, Baba is seeing a very particular wave. Whenever anything comes in front of you, which means some situation or some challenge, instead of using the power to face that you have received from Baba, you begin to put the Father in the front and say, you have to take me back home with you. So give me power. It is your duty to help me. Because if you don't, who will? So this is what our language becomes. So we start teaching the knowledge which Baba has given us. We want to give that knowledge back to Baba. Baba says you become very chatur like that. You become very over smart actually when you do this. Don't try to. In Hindi, we say "Meri billi mujhi ko meow," which means I have given you the knowledge and you are then telling it back to me rather than applying it and using it. You're telling me the knowledge. And here, if you remember, that we become like a begging bowl. We say, Baba, give me power. Baba has given us all the powers. Baba says, you first take the first step, right, of himmat, of courage, and then thousand or multi-million folds help, cooperation, I'll give. एक कदम हिम्मत का हजार कदम मदद का. That's what. So Baba says, I see this wave of complaining that you tell me, or rather just having a begging bowl and asking for power, asking for blessings. If you don't, it is your duty. If you don't, who else will? Give me a few blessings. You are the ocean. So just give me a few drops. So are we still sort of thirsty of a few drops when we already got the ocean? You lose the courage to face the situation by yourself. And because of lacking courage, you deprive yourself of help. So special basis of Brahman life is courage, himmat. Just as you don't have a life if you're unable to breathe, so too you can't have a Brahman life unless you have courage. Baba has promised you children that when you maintain courage, he will then definitely help. But we need to take the first step of courage. There isn't just the Father's help alone. Nowadays, you leave everything to the Father and become careless yourself. So now, what do you have to do? The main weakness is that you don't use the powers you receive, and the many yuktis of knowledge you hear, that is, you simply speak about them rather than practice them. So, in the Lokik world, we say practice before you preach. Same thing Baba is telling us. We have to not preach now, use it, practice it. Instead of becoming a teacher for others, become a teacher first for yourself. Teach yourself, keep using those points. And now, for that, what's the method? Become introverted and use every power in the practice of your dharana. See, just as an inventor remains deeply engrossed in his or her own invention day and night, they go underground, they get cut off from the world, right? Usually those scientists do that. And that's the reason they can concentrate on something so much that they come out with new inventions or discoveries, right? They go underground, introvert, cut off, solitude, cut off from others. So here we know the meaning of solitude. Ekant is different. Ek ke ant mein jana. To be lost and absorbed in the one only. So too, you should be totally absorbed in practicing every power. What is the power to tolerate? And what is the power to face? What do you attain from the power to tolerate? At which time would you use the power to tolerate? What type of obstacles are you influenced by without the power to tolerate? Because if we don't have the power to tolerate, we get upset with whatever is happening, and then we have opened the big gate of Maya. So it's obstacle for us, that situation. But moment I just create one thought of being tolerant and applying the power of tolerance, Maya can't come. How can you become victorious when Maya comes to you in the form of anger? In which situations does Maya test your power to tolerate? And all of us by now know that each to his own, everyone's situation is so different. I will have different situations. Each one of you will have different situations. So Maya's test papers are different for each one of us. And also very important, the same papers won't come to me every time. They'll come in different forms, different shapes from different people, or even in a different way completely. So, because every time Maya is trying to test us, right? And Baba tells Maya that you are my very agyakari child, my obedient child. Go to my children. And because children tell Baba, Baba, why are you sending Maya? Baba is saying, why I'm sending it, because I want to know whether you're able to fully pass in the test paper. So, in which situations does Maya test your power to tolerate? Prepare yourself by going into the detail of these test papers in your intellect in advance. Do that beforehand. Preparations for exams are always done not in the examination hall, they are done much before. So, we have to prepare the intellect for that in advance. Before going into the real examination hall, become your own master and give yourself a test paper, and then you'll never fail the real exam. So, this way, put each of the powers into practice. And all of you practice this very little. You have become Vyas, but do not practice or abhyas as much. Beautiful rhyming words. Vyas is shown to be the creator, or the not the creator, the writer of the Gita, the Bhakti Wali Gita, Gita of the devotion. As you can see in the last 4-5 days, as we speak in the Sakar Murlis, Baba is speaking a lot about the sermonizer of Gita. Try to prove that who sermonized Gita. Was it Krishna or Shiva? And as we speak also tomorrow, 8, 9, 10, there's a big program at ORC, Om Shanti Retreat Center in Delhi. It's completing 23 years. They celebrate their birthday every year on 9 December. And these 3 days, it's a big program of the sermonizer of Gita, where Brijmohan Bhai Sahib and many other seniors who are interested in Gita would be coming, and they'll have nice conversations trying to prove who is the God of Gita or the sermonizer of Gita. So Baba says you have all become very Jnani souls. You become Vyas. But what about your abhyas, your practice, inculcation? You don't know how to keep busy in this way. And this is why Maya makes you busy. So let's be busy in just churning the knowledge, trying to practice those points, coming down to like using those points. So keep being busy in that. Because if you're constantly busy in this practice, there'll no longer be the complaint of having waste thoughts. As well as this, the impact of your practice would be visible on your face. And what would be visible? Someone introverted is constantly happy because the opposition from Maya will be over. We know the face is the index of the mind. So if my mind is creating pure, powerful, elevated thoughts all the time, my face will reveal that. So someone who's introverted practicing introversion will be remaining constantly happy. That's what Baba is saying. And by increasing your experience in this way, you will be liberated from making the same complaint time and again. Just as Baba has told you to practice using all the powers, so too do you practice the points of knowledge about becoming yogi souls that you relate to others. So rather than speaking of which, trying to just memorize and speak out the points of knowledge, Baba says, usually always, Baba says, become a point, become that soul conscious soul. The soul who's able to practice soul conscious every now and then by applying that point. Okay, so I think the next is this paragraph which we'll read tomorrow, and then we'll have Bap Dada's meeting as well. So we'll stop here. I'll stop sharing the screen. You all can again take a minute, introspect, reflect, and start sharing. Thank you. So you all can start sharing.
Om Shanti, brother. You know, it's such a perfect Murli for me. The first line itself. You have come to the land of blessings to celebrate a spiritual meeting. And that's a fact. I've come to Madhuban to celebrate a spiritual meeting. And as if the Murli was directly addressed and perfectly fit for me. I really like the way it began. And then that yoga, I just wanted to share. See, there are these two words, yog and yad. I think I love the word yad, even though I know yoga is needed for me to for any transformation or absolvement of sins. But yad is such a beautiful thing. Today in Amrit Vela, as I was going through the corridors of Shantivan, through Dadi Prakash Mani Stamp, Dadi Gulzar Stamp, and Dadi Janki, it was more of yad, that lovely remembrance, the atmosphere. So I'm so comfortable in yad. There is no, I don't know whether it's sound or anything, but it's something, taking everything within my mind. It's a beautiful feeling. I think yad for me is something more thing. So I don't know when you said, when Baba said constant yoga, I said, Baba, now for the past so long, I was in constant yad with everything around me. I think it was a very beautiful experience when that first paragraph was read. Too nice. Yad. Thank you, Baba.
So I liked, Papa, how Papa mentioned about, going beyond sound and coming into sound. So Papa wants us to go beyond sound in a second. So not in a minute, just in a second. So this practice, Baba says that this practice is not, and we are not practicing it as much as we have to practice. And we will only have a second to stabilize ourselves beyond sound. So this, Baba says we'll have to practice this as much as possible. Like Baba said, the example that examination, if you go attend the exam, then you'll do the preparation, everything before, not in the examination hall. Um, so this practice has to be done before. And Baba also said we all have jnanis, but abhyas, the practice is lacking. Vyasas, not but not abhyas. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Brother, can you just, as I told you about yad and yog, both are beautiful. Can you just see what is that bliss which you get? And how do you feel? What is needed? Isn't yad very important also than yog? Just your sharing, brother.
Okay, thank you for your question. And it's good to know that you are enjoying your stay in Madhuban. Right. So as Baba always mentions, and today also in the Murli, he's mentioned about Yad Ki Yatra, the pilgrimage of remembrance. Because we use this word, Sanskrit word, yog, and it becomes very difficult. But Baba always says, don't make things difficult for you, make things easy for yourself. So he always gives us the example. Do you remember your Lokik father? Do you forget him? And that's what directly reminds us, yes, that we never forget our Lokik father because we have got so many things, the inheritance which he's given us. Let us look at the Lokik father first. The inheritance which he gives us, the sustenance which he gives us, if you remember your father. Here, directly the relationship of father comes, and that's the reason we call it God Father. So Baba says, if I'm your godfather, you should have natural remembrance of me. On the contrary, it should be very, very difficult for you to forget me because I've given you so many things. So Baba's inheritance, you can go into many murlis are spoken about that, but the three basic praptis, attainments which we have is Gyan, Gun, Shaktiya, the knowledge, the virtues, and all the powers. So yes, Baba says, remind yourself of that again and again, and then remembrance, yeah, will definitely become easy. And obviously, when we do bhattis, intense yoga, tapasya, what we call tapasya is with a lot of determination and with one thought in mind, we do that. So that definitely is what we call, we don't say yad tapasya or yad bhatti, we say yog bhatti. That is to intensify our pilgrimage of remembrance so much, to such an extent that we then try to burn all our vikaram, which we have, try to destroy all our past doings, misdoings, what we have done in that yoga tapasya. But definitely, it is, as you rightly said, yad is a beautiful word, and it's what we have to do, because remembrance becomes more natural and yoga tapasya can be done sometimes. So we want to do the things which are easy and all the time. So I hope that's the answer. Thank you.
Om Shanti. Wonderful, Murli. I like to reflect these two aspects. One is that, like a scientist how and inventor, in order to do that invention, how he is engrossed in that invention, that to find out that invention, and goes in solitude 24/7, day and night. And similarly, Baba has given this example to make us understand that for every power to develop, there's a lot of time devoted, and a lot of churning and introspection and practice, experimenting with those powers day and night to develop that power as a power which can be used at our own will. And second is about the second aspect is uh, about the this one is that invention, and second is that examination. uh, like Baba has given us a beautiful technique that we can simulate the scenario or examination in advance, uh, before we actually go to the battlefield. We can simulate that battlefield environment and you know uh, introspect and reflect what will be my stage if that situation or the battlefield scenario comes in front of me. So that's another technique. Om Shanti.
One more thing that emphasized on this Murli is to show courage. So the Brahmin life itself is to show courage. So when we show courage only, then we get support from Baba. If no courage, then no support. And I was also thinking about the putting the full stop in Baba says instantly, right? So when there is a need, so we'll have to put a full stop. So for that, our the stable stage is very important. So how I was thinking, like when the situation everything is normal, then I think when putting a full stop may not be so challenged. But when somebody is going through a challenging situation, right? So how would they put a full stop? So what would be, what are the points that which they can remember in order to put a full stop? So I think drama is one word which can be used, which will, this word itself is give us some easy, to put a full stop. Is there any other method that which help us to stabilize ourselves in that full up or putting full stop? Because the final paper is, we'll have to put a full stop in a second. And those who do that or those who fail to do that will be a failure for all the kalpas. Manoj bhai, if you can throw some lights on this, would be great. Option.
Yes, so Bijit Bhai. So I would rather put it this way that it's difficult what I'm saying now here, but we have to just keep practicing it. So because we just have 1 second, as Baba keeps saying again and again, today also it's mentioned in that way. So in that 1 second, we can't afford to think of any point that I have to apply the drama full stop, so on and so forth. I have to become a point form. And becoming a point form means a shariri sthiti, whatever all those beautiful words we have, becoming bodiless in a second, or becoming so deeply soul conscious that whatever someone is telling me from outside or whatever challenging situation, I don't feel that anymore because I am a point. So that's what Baba again, it's Baba's Murlis, it's mentioned that become a point rather than churning points of knowledge. So also now I think today we should do that because today's Murli is all about this. That in the yoga now, there are many different ways of doing yoga. Like there are 3 4 steps. People say that first is you have a ruha rehan, a heart to heart loveful conversation with Baba, meethi ruha rehan. Second is then you do vichar sagar manthan, churning of the points. This is good enough, but that's not proper yoga. The most important, Baba says, is practicing bodiless stage and going into that seed form, the Bij Roop Avastha, and that's the volcanic stage, what we call Jwalamukhi Yoga. So today, in Jwalamukhi Yoga, you can't do it for a longer time. Even if you are able to situate in half a minute or 1 minute, just remembrance of that point, being a point and remembering the point, that's Jwalamukhi, that really gives a lot of benefits. So to answer that question of yours, that in the end, we just have to become a point. That's the only point which we can do in 1 second or less than a second. Because the moment I just say I have to apply the full stop, I have gone into the vistar. I have gone into expanse from the essence. So I have to become essenseful at that point of time and become a point. And that needs practice. We just need to keep doing it. And I think we keep always saying, today also Baba is saying, practice, practice. But when will we practice? We have to start doing it some point or the other. So in our busy schedule, even in our Amrit Vela Yoga or Nimasham Yoga, try to find out few moments in between. What I do, I would share is like listen to a song. It's good to do different things in yoga because otherwise it becomes very monotonous and constantly don't remember, oh, I am a peaceful soul. You'll fall asleep. So have different things doing in the Amrit Vela meditation as well, and in between take these moments and become bodiless, experience being the point form, experience being the seed stage, being the volcanic remembrance. So keep doing that on and off in between, and I'm sure we are all on that journey. We're all in the same boat and we'll be reaching there soon. It's just practicing more and more. We'll do that today in yoga. It's 5:39. Let's see if there are any more sharings. Otherwise, we'll just today, without any music, without any external dependencies, we'll just try to be in that fully point stage, the seed stage. Okay.
Om
Thanks.
Shanti, brother. Just I wanted to ask you, you spoke about the point stage and all, in 24/7, it's not sometimes not possible for us to be in that point stage, especially when in a lockic routine and all, because we suddenly freeze. Suddenly if I'm standing in front of the gas and I find I'm just giving an example, point stage, I find the milk over boils and come down. So I sometimes find that should be a particular timing or something when whatever the kind of yoga you said, the Jwalamukhi stage, the point stage and all. But for me, even in that, I feel yad is something thing. Even when I'm boiling the milk, I say, oh, Baba, how nice, see the milk is boiling. So I liked your link which you gave, conversation and then talking. That's how I think I love. Because even in the first paragraph, Baba is saying, you have to be more yog yukt. I was just saying, why should not it be yad yukt? Baba is saying, yog gives you yog. I just was sharing my personal thing for me to be always in that point stage. Um, I think it's a kind of a journey. Om Shanti.
Okay, so if there are no more sharings, let's go into this meditative mode. And what we'll do is it's 5:41 now. For the next say 10 minutes or so, we'll pass through these stages. I'll just tell you what to do. You have to do it on your own. The 4 stages. You see what you want to do in that stage, 2-3 minutes each stage, and then right at the end, we'll go into the bodiless stage and then finally the point stage. And keep doing that in cycles of 10 minutes during your yoga when you're practicing. So let's begin. Taking a deep breath in and out. And situating yourself in this consciousness of the beautiful energy that I am. For the next few minutes, have a beautiful, loving, heart to heart conversation with Baba. You could think about your attainments, your inheritance, and all the treasures which you have got in Brahman life. And have this attitude of gratitude for Baba. Let's slip into the next stage of trying to churn the points of knowledge. So, from today's Murli, whatever point appeals to you and makes you feel very yogic, you can churn on that point. And see how empowering you feel by churning that point. And give yourself this promise with determination that you will use that point today in whatever circumstances come. And experiment with this point of knowledge. And actually, all of us know our daily routine to some extent. It's almost the same. So see yourself being an embodiment of that point of knowledge and practicing that point, whatever you have selected. Now, seeing yourself as an embodiment of that point of knowledge, let's slip into this third stage of being a bodiless soul, a shariri sthiti. Also called the Videhi Sthiti. I, the being, am bodiless. And see how you're feeling now. Just focusing on this one thought: I am a bodiless soul. And you'll see the experience of yoga is deepening. No more point churning, no more heart to heart conversation. I, the bodiless soul. You're feeling very light and empowered. And let's move into the final stage, the fourth stage of experiencing the seed stage, the point form that I am. No more thoughts of bodiless soul, only thoughts of I, the soul, the point form. And see how you feel. And experience the volcanic form of this point, of being stabilized in the point, how powerful it is. And very gradually come back. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Manoj Bhai. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Till that time, have a nice day.
Thank you, Manoj bhai. Om Shanti.